flushed with water. All right, everybody, let's do an offer on this particular property. I just looked up on Zillow. It's in Slidell, Louisiana. We have a situation that some of you guys are familiar with from other videos in Slidell, Louisiana right now. So we've been kind of targeting that area, trying to find a house to help us resolve that issue that we've got, which is long and detailed. I'm not going to get into it now, but anyway, that's why I just chose this particular property. And I went to Slidell, and I'm just looking right in Slidell, and this happened to pop right up. So we can just do an offer on this particular property. Guys, I didn't pre-qualify this house at all. It's basically in the area I'm looking for, and it's within the parameters of what I'm looking for. So that's it as far as qualification. It's a move-in ready house, and it fits into the parameters. And that's all the pre-qualifying you have to do when you're looking to make an offer. So we can look at the pictures of this guy. It looks pretty good, right? It's not 1,000% up to date. It's a little bit older. It looks like, early 2000s type of, it's the bathrooms and stuff, and appliances and that kind of thing, and a carpet, but it's nice. It's movable. You could rent this thing today, and it's good for a family that's getting started. And I don't know how it's priced, so let's figure that out. So the address, 2218 Oriole Street in Slidell. So we will take a look at that in Podio. Let's go to in Podio, and we're going to create a seller lead. And I will show you in a minute how we automate scrapes. But this is how you would do it if you didn't have automation. If you didn't have automation to find your leads, you're basically just going to go Craigslist or Zillow and manually look these properties up, and then you call the seller or create an offer and email it to them. But in this case, we don't know the owner. I'm going to put Slidell in here for now. I'm going to let my team know that I'm working on the deal. And I'm going to come put the address in down here, which was 2218 Oriole Street. And that was in Slidell. And see, Podio is smart found the address for me here. And you always want to select that within Podio because it's going to, at some point, populate this when I say the seller lead. It's supposed to, and of course, Podio doesn't always like to do things it's supposed to, but eventually it will populate this down here with the proper address. So when we use the rest of the automation, it's going to do what we want it to do properly. Okay. So now you'll see as we entered this lead, and all I did was put the address in. If I knew the seller's name, I would have put it there. I did just put my name. I don't have any of this other stuff, so I'm not going to worry about it for now. I don't have the cell phone number. I guess I probably could have put whatever phone number's on the Zillow ad. I don't really want to. I'm going to create the offer first. Now I'm just going to call the number on this ad and see what's going on. It might even be a realtor. I don't know. But in this case, I'm just going to do this offer so you guys can see how it's done. Okay. There's a bunch of other information here and stuff. The seller app is where everything gets triggered from. So. Okay. In the property app, this is what's nice about automation. I don't have to manually go get all this stuff. It's going to go out and seek it out for us. And then we're also going to get the comps. And so guys, when you submit a property, this is basically what's going to happen with your stuff. You're going to fill out the form we have in the group. It's going to send your information directly into that app where we started this process. and it's going to have your name on it, and we're going to take your leads right through this very same process we're watching now. So imagine doing this all yourself manually versus having the system in place. And that's why I created the group. I created the group because I struggle with this myself, and I spent a ton of money and a ton of time and effort trying to figure out how to make it work. And I would have loved to have a resource like this available to me, and I would have gladly split deals with people if I could have. I just didn't have it available, so it seemed like a great idea and could be a great benefit to my business, our business, and a great benefit to yours as well. So anyway, that's what we're trying to do. And just keep in mind, you can do all this stuff manually. It just takes 10 times as long, and it's very difficult to keep track of. So if you're starting out, feel free to reach out to us if you want us to help you out. Anyway, here we go. We got the information. The system has gone and gotten everything for us. Here are the comps that we asked it to pull. And in this case, comp range is kind of crazy. And the first one we look at is Zillow said it was worth 95 and it sold for 43. Second one is Zillow said 88, sold for 98. Zillow said 78, sold for 52. So these are all over the place. That's not a good sign. So we're not gonna count on Zillow's Zestimate, right? Zestimate says 83,000, basically 82,973. But I'm concerned about that being accurate with these comps being so wacky, right? So we have other sources we can look at. And right within our system, we have Total View, which uses Zillow as part of its formulation or whatever to come up with its numbers, but it's not all Zillow, and it does change. And in this particular case, they're right with Zillow. They're saying 79,000. So they're at 80, Zillow's at 83. So there's some confirmation there. Let's put it in PropStream, which is another source we use and pay for, which you will be able to have applied into your leads as well if you're taking advantage of our offer to have you work with us. Your deals will get the same scrutiny that this one is getting. We want to make sure that the comp number is right, otherwise all of our offers will be all screwed up. And it's something you really struggle with when you're doing virtual investing. You don't know all the markets very well, or as well as you'd like to. It can be tough to complement. It's very important. That's right. We've got a property right now in Lawton, Oklahoma, and Zillow's comps and most of the comps we could find were either 150 to 165. And we have the property under contract at a really good number if that comp is accurate. Well, cash buyer wise, we're not getting a great response. When you don't get a great response, you got, a couple issues. Either the house is terrible or the neighborhood's terrible or you're priced wrong. And most of the time it's you're priced wrong. And if we're priced wrong, that's because we comped it wrong. So that's the chain reaction of what happens if your comps aren't good. So don't just look at Zillow and assume it's right. It is right a lot of times, but you want to at least verify it a little bit, okay? And again, all this stuff we're doing on the front, guys, it doesn't matter if it's perfect, okay? It's all stuff that can be adjusted later. You just want it to be a conversation starter. So you don't want it to be completely out in left field. You want to be as close as you possibly can without spending 18 hours figuring it out. Okay, another nice thing about PropStream, which I really like, is it gives you the mortgage balance is 80,000, right? So that's a tell in this house. The house is according to Zillow, it's only worth 89, and PropStream is saying it is worth 116. So we've got a comp range of 80 to 116. This guy, what is he asking again? I forgot. Let's go take a look. He's asking 145. So here's a great one, guys. We're gonna send this guy an offer. He's not gonna like it. I promise you. I guarantee you he's not. Because I'm not gonna give him 145 for a house that the best comp I can find in the world is 116. I mean, we could delve into it even more with PropStream. PropStream's got really deep comping ability here. So you do all kinds of granular searches and everything here. Here's their average sale price is 125. So he's hoping that he can glom off some other nicer houses that are in the neighborhood and get his numbers up. But these numbers are pretty good, actually. We might be able to get him something that's appealing to him in like the 115 range. But we can't give him 145. That's not going to happen, and nobody else is going to give him 145 either. So that's just the way it's going to happen. So this is a guy. We're still going to give him an offer, though, right? I'm still gonna make an offer, and we'll follow up with him, and we'll go from there. So let's use 115. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. We always use, not always, but 99% of the time, we use 10,000 as our wholesale fee. Now, our system is a little bit confusing when I show it to people because this was part of another system. We have a Frankenstein system that was patched together with two systems put together and then lots of customizations by multiple people. We've stabilized that now, but it wasn't always that way. And so it's a true Frankenstein. And so we use final ARV in our system as what the house is worth. It's not final ARV. It's what it's worth as it sits and stands today. And then everything calculates off of that. So you'll see we won't put any estimated repairs. I've already determined. I basically just looked at what I feel the ARV is. I've comped the property, and then I felt what I think it's worth. In this case, this is absolutely pristine. It's been completely remodeled. The very highest comp I could find was 116, so that's what I'm putting for the ARV. I can't justify giving him any more, just because I can't find the comp that'll tell me that it's worth it, right? It's a beautiful home. I love it. If you stuck that thing in San Diego, it'd be worth $600,000. But it's where it is, and I can only go by what the numbers go by, and the seller's always going to feel it's worth more than it is. So I'm doing as best I can for him here. The beauty of lease options is we can give him as much as it's possible as it's worth, but I can't give him way more. You know, it doesn't work that way. So anyway, 115 is that number, and you can see these calculations have happened. MAO, maximum allowable offer, 65% of ARV. It's also taking into account this $10,000. So it's 115 minus 10,000 is 105. 65% of that is 64,750. So depending on the area, depending on the market, depending on the condition of the house, and depending on what we want to do to disposition the property, we'll choose one of these maximum allowable offer percentages to use for our cash offer, or we'll use them as a baseline and come up with another number. I might say 75,000, right? It's right in between the 70 and 75, and if we felt it was good, we might, we don't have to use this dead nuts number, but it just gives us something to go by, and we kind of know where we're at, right? If a seller is looking to dump a property, it's like this property. If this guy was looking to just unload it, we might offer him, 95. We might offer him more than 80% if it's the right property in a hot market or something. So it just depends on the house and the property and everything else. But we've got a wide range of numbers we can use there. This is the sandwich lease option price, which is sandwich lease option. We're going to stay in the middle of the deal, so we're going to save some equity on the back end for us, and the standard calculation for that is 15%. So this is actually 85%, right? That's what that number is. And then I didn't put the rent numbers in, so it hasn't calculated. I needed to put that in here. And so we need to determine what the market rent is. Zillow says $1,250. My system automatically pulls that information for me, but that's stuff you'll have to research by yourself if you don't have your own automation, and if you're not working with us or with somebody else that does have automation. And that's it's super helpful and time saving, guys, to have that. All this information is pulled for you. Oftentimes it's good to go right out of the gate. You don't have to do a bunch of extra stuff like I'm doing right now. But like I said, in this one we looked at the comps and they were a little sketchy, so we gotta dig in a little deeper. We're gonna take a look here in total view, and it doesn't have a rent number, I don't think. Let's look. Yep, no rent number in total view. Prop stream says $1,025. What was Zillow again? What did I say? 1250. Let's take a look again. Zillow said 1250. So we got one at 1,000, one at 1250. It's 1,100, and we like to go like $100 below. We don't want to be top of the market in the rent. We want to be in the median. So we're gonna say 1,050. We'll use that as our number. 1,050, and you'll see that will calculate our sandwich lease option rent, because we're going to stay in the middle of that deal, and we want to make some money for doing that. Anything breaks in the house, or the tenant leaves or something, we're screwed. We have to pay the seller. We are on the hook, so we need to get some money to take that risk. And the rent is 12. Wait a second. Rent says 1250. We don't want to do that. We want to make this rent 1050. Yeah. Okay. Rent's 1050. So the system is telling us 780, 750. When I make the offer, I'll probably make that 750 just to round it up, make it a round number. But okay, so all of our calculations are done, and now we're going to move over to the to the offers tab. I'm going to open up a new Podio window. Oops. If I could learn how to type, that would be a bonus. All right. Go into the Sellers app. And that's why I gave that guy a name, because otherwise try to find anything in Podio, it's nearly impossible. Yeah, it's not impossible, but it takes more than your average bear to figure it out. It's definitely not super user friendly. I got the most techie guy in the world who has to struggle with it a little bit, so I don't feel too bad that I struggle with it as well. So anyway, we have to go back here, and then we have to click through the offer here, okay? And you'll see some of the numbers have carried over, which is automation that we've added in. Our guy, Johnny, has put that together. Some of the numbers carry over. Otherwise, you got to bounce back and forth, which I'm going to have to do for the other numbers here. Bounce back and forth so I don't screw up transferring them. Our cash, our option 3, which is our wholesale lease option number, is going to be $115,000, and our sandwich lease option is $97,750. So our price the seller wants is 115, right? 115,000. And our sandwich lease, we said 97,750, right? Cash offer. Let's go back and look at what we had. This is not a house I mean, it's almost embarrassing to make this guy a cash offer because it's a fresh remodel. So I'm just gonna say no offer on this, because you know what? It's the first thing that shows up on that offer when we look at it. And he just remodeled this house. He's asking $145,000, and the first thing he sees from me is an offer for 70 grand. He's gonna crumple my paper up and throw it at me and then write me a nasty grand. And I don't want any of that stuff. So let's just tell him we're going to put no offer. And when I email the offer to him, I'm going to say, look, we can make a cash offer for your property. But your property's in such excellent condition as an investor, it doesn't make any sense for me to make you an insulting offer. However, with lease options, we can give you full pop for this thing. And then I'm going to confront him on the comps too. I'm going to ask him how he comped it in a gentle way. I'm going to explain to him that I'm having trouble coming to the same numbers he's at. I said, the property's gorgeous. There's nothing wrong with the house. I'm not questioning that. I'm trying to get to where you got that valuation. I'm gonna ask him about it and bring it up so that it's on the table. You may not like it now, but it's gonna have to come up at some point. So why I don't see the point in goofing around with it. I like to just get it all out with the sellers, and I just prefer to get the deal moving forward and have everything be transparent. I just feel like that's a better way to go. But who knows if that's right? That's the way I do it. So anyway, there is our offer. $97,750 for sandwich lease option. And we need to determine a cash price. but I don't like a cash price on this. We're not going to do it. I'm just going to put no offer. I can't type that in there because it doesn't show up, but I will, when I edit it, I'll do it that way. And now we're going to generate the offer. Make sure we have everything we need. So sandwich lease we have the option consideration on the sandwich lease was $1,000. SLO rent I had not filled in, so that's a problem. We want that to be $750, right? And we always go with 5. Again, I say always, but always means most of the time. We go with 5 years on this on a sandwich lease option. Totally adjustable. Make whatever you want. You can make it. Look, if the seller, this particular seller, if he was to tell me, hey, I love the idea of the sandwich lease option, I want to do it, but I need that 145. I'll tell him, okay, great, let's do it for 10 years. We'll put this under contract for 10 years, and I'll give him the 145. I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll try to see if I can put a tenant in there for that. There's a way to work the numbers however you want to do it. It's just we're trying to work the numbers so it's gonna be the easiest for us to sell, because that's the hard part too, is selling it. I hear all these gurus talking about how easy it is to sell all these properties, and I know experience tells me what I've seen, it's definitely not all that easy, especially in the wholesale space. If it's a straight up lease option or something where you're dealing with a buyer tenant, I think it's easier. We seem to get better response for that. The ones we're having trouble with are the ones that are move-in ready, and they're not really a rehab, so there's not money for a flip. There's not money for a rehab, but you're getting a huge discount on the property. We're having trouble with that buyer, where you almost need a retail end buyer. We've tried reaching out to realtors, offering them programs where they can double dip. We've tried all kinds of stuff. That's a real sticking point for us that we're working on right now. So it's tough, and maybe it's the way we're pricing it. We've had lots of internal discussion trying to figure out what we're doing on our end that's making it difficult, because it shouldn't be as difficult as it is. We don't think so. We're open to any suggestions you guys might have, that's for sure. All right, we'll generate the contract. And Podio is taking its time. There it goes. There it is. Here's what the contract looks like if we've sent him a letter. If there's an investor involved, which in this case there is, I'll add his name down here, Nathaniel. This is his deal. And then it gets this. If you've worked with Joe McCall, you've seen this or something very similar to it. We've customized ours a little bit. But here it is. Again, normally this would have a number. I'm gonna add no offer here when I email it to this guy. And then I just double check the information. There it is. For those of you who haven't sat through one of these videos before and are just learning about it, this is the best part of this offer, is this 3 pages of, it's 4 pages of stuff that follows the actual numbers. And what it is explanation about how all these things work and what they are, and benefits and questions that are very, very common, which if you look at these, what is the lease option? How does it work? How much is it going to cost? Advantages versus selling with a realtor. How long does it take before I get my money? All these kind of things that you're going to get asked over and over again. Your offer will address all that stuff with your seller. So I like to send this to them as quickly as I can get it in their hands. And then when I have a phone conversation, I can reference that. Because they may not read it when they first get it. Who's going to read 4 pages of stuff? They're going to look at these numbers, and if they don't like them, they're going to throw it to the side. Or they don't like the concept, they're going to throw it to the side. And most of the time, they're going to throw it to the side. Because they're not going to like the concept. No one would like the concept. I wouldn't like the concept, right out of the gate. However, if my house is on the market for 6 months and I was paying 2 mortgages and I didn't have anybody asking or even calling, and my realtor had gone silent, I might be real interested in hearing from you. So it's a waiting game, and that's what we got to do. We just got to get these offers in front of them, let them know you're there and that it's available, and that's what we'll do. So anyway, that's it, guys. That's how you do an offer. Pretty straightforward. All I do from here is email it to them, and then they get put into the follow-up system. Okay, so what happens once this offer is done? It is done now. I've created it, and now I'll go back to the seller app, and I just use my back arrow because I came from here. And now I'm going to put this in a drip. So we have a follow-up template here. There's one realtor drip, which is new. We've got stuff happening as we are live here. This was not here 5 minutes ago or whenever. I don't know when he put it in there, but this is one we had just talked about. Actually, Farah, we talked about it a while ago, and then I forgot all about it, and we rekindled it recently with Farah. And so it looks like Johnny's working on getting that set for us now. We'll probably have to write the script for it. But what this will do is every time we do our automated scripts is we get a lot of realtor responses and property managers and stuff. And so Wendy Patton, who's another guru type, or one of these sells courses and all that stuff, or a lease option specialist, specializes in working directly with realtors. So we've researched her information, and we're trying to custom tailor some kind of a follow-up drip campaign that'll hit the realtors 5 or 6 times, the course of a couple of months, and ask them, hey, you got anything for us? We want to talk to these realtors. We want them to know what we're looking for, what we're after, what we're about. And we want them out there looking for properties for us too, so that we can make money with them, with them together. So, and this Wendy Patton apparently did super well with it. I've always had zero luck with it. And so we're going to try it and see if we can maybe try to get some marketing going that appeals to the realtors. And by that, I mean marketing that tells them, hey, we're going to pay you. We're going to pay you in this deal too. It's not just a freebie you're handing to us. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, this guy just got an offer, so he's going to get offer sent, right? So I'm going to click that. And I'm going to click out of it, because that's what you got to do with Podio, and let Podio do its little deal. And then I'm going to come back over here and try to start the campaign, which is also always fun with Podio. And we'll refresh and see if that'll do it. And there it is. So system's initiating the follow-up sequence. And this lead will now get follow-ups, right? And we're going to call this lead. But it's going to get automated follow-ups from our system, and I'll show you what that looks like. And the only reason I'm showing you guys this, I want you to understand the full scope of what happens when you give us a lead, and all the stuff that's going to happen to your lead, and the advantages of doing it. So I mean, it's great you guys hear automation and follow-up, but you don't really know exactly what I'm talking about when I say follow-up, of what's going to happen with your leads. Because it's hard. Getting these leads is work, guys. You guys it's effort to get them. Either that or you're paying for them. So either way, it's costing you time or money. And time or money is all we have, as far as when we're doing this work. So we want to make sure that we're getting full pot for it, right? So I'm blind as a bat. I'm trying to, there's one that says follow-up templates. There it is. Jeez. Sorry, guys. I couldn't find it. So follow-up templates, offer sent, and then here's the sequence of stuff that happens, right? Action 1, they get a text and an email. Action 2, they get another text and an email with different stuff, and they get a ringless voicemail, right? And I've got our message here. Our ringless voicemail slide dial has tons of messages saved in there, and we're behind on that. Actually, we need to go refresh those. Different messages that we can send to different people at different times. Like in this particular case, I think what this message says, if I remember correctly, is, hey, our rent-to-own websites have found buyer tenants that are looking for properties in your area. So we've sent this guy an offer. We've told him that we can find a buyer tenant for him, and now I'm sending him a ringless voicemail that's going to say, hey, along with an email and a text that are telling him, hey, we've got matching rent-to-own buyers and stuff in your area, right? So that's the kind of follow-up stuff they're getting. And they take place, the offer follow-up, the way we've got this set up is the first follow-up is 2 days later, because the idea is we'll call them, right? Then the first follow-up is 2 days later. That's just a text and an email. 5 days after that, they get a text, email, and a ringless voicemail. 10 days after that, they get this and that. 20 days later, they get this, you know, and you'll see there's a mix of stuff. There's emails and they're all mixed in there together. And so there's 8 follow-ups on an offer going out 3 months. So we're not messing around with the automated follow-ups. They're just absolutely hammering. And if the guy follows back or asks back, he's getting a lot more conversation. And there's phone calls going on. And a lot of times when there's an investor involved, that investor may be communicating with them as well. Like Nathaniel in particular, when he and I are working on a deal, both of us are talking to the seller a lot. And both of us are involved with the buyers, and both of us are doing a lot of, it just depends on the investor and who I'm working with on the deal. A lot of times it'll be just me talking to him, or it'll be just us as far as Grant and myself as far as the people in our organization. We may handle 100% of the conversations. We don't care. We want you to submit leads, and we don't care how much you want to be involved. If you want to be involved a lot, great. We may even find a way, you know, we may end up taking it. You never know. It's like Farah, you know, we end up working with her, and she was so helpful and so eager and so enthusiastic and everything that we wanted her to work with us. We want to work with people like that. So we don't care, guys. We're looking for people to submit offers to us so we can be involved in more deals and more transactions. That's it, plain and simple. At the same time, we can offer you guys a little assistance in the use of all our tools, and your leads will be able to follow through this process that we pay for. I told you guys before in other videos, and it's not a brag or anything like that. It's just we're spending $1,000 a month or upwards of $1,000 a month on marketing and scrapes and automation and research tools like PropStream and Tellius and all these systems and stuff. And it's not cheap. It's not easy to get started. So feel free to take advantage of it, man. Reach out to us, text us, email us, message us on the group. I'll get on the phone with you. We'll spend 10, 15 minutes on the phone, if that. Talk about how it works. But pretty much this video just showed you that's what'll happen. That offer will now get emailed to the seller, and I'll copy Nathaniel on it since it's in Slidell, and we go from there. You know, we'll follow up. Either Nathaniel or I will follow up with the guy, and we'll call him, see what's going on, and we'll take it from there. A lot of times they respond back in a negative fashion at first because it's the house is just on the market or whatever, but that's fine. I expect that. I'm not worried about it. If they do that, they're going to continue to get follow-ups. They're going to get follow-up 8 times. I just showed you, right? So that's how that works. I'll show you from the beginning when you submit a property. So the way you're going to do it, if you're doing it on your own, is you're going to go into Zillow and you're going to basically find an area and start picking out houses and looking at them. And you can text. The number to use when you're in Zillow, guys, all these numbers are bogus. They're just realtors that are paying to be on there. Don't do that. Down here, you're probably going to get a realtor too. You can search for FSBOs up here. Sometimes there'll be a legit FSBO seller down here, but a lot of times it's a realtor. And if it's a realtor, you know, and you're doing it manually, you can call them. You can call them and try, but I mean, they're tough. They're tough to work with. If you're gonna waste time calling realtors and do this manually, I would really look into Wendy Patton or somebody, or try to find some kind of guidance on a path that works with them. I haven't discovered it yet, honestly, guys. I don't know what it is. I wish I did. And if you do, I would love for you to tell me. So anybody who knows the answers, please fill us in, because we'd like to know. But I haven't figured it out. But the important thing to remember when you're looking at Zillow, if you're doing this manually, is to come all the way down to the bottom to get to the right person to contact, the listing provided by person. Okay? This is, again, a realtor. So if you're going to call somebody or put a number in, that's who you want to call or text. In Zillow, it's this person on the bottom. I know I didn't know any better, and I was contacting people on here. I didn't know. I filled this out, and you get a call from Zillow, right? So this is all garbage. Don't pay attention. Go all the way to the bottom, And if you're going to do it manually, I would definitely highly recommend that you filter for FSBO. Even though realtors post like madmen in there all the time anyway, you'll at least some of them will be actually FSBO when you're going through it. Because if they're FSBO and you call them, you can get some great information right off the bat. Okay, here's another realtor, right? I just filtered for FSBO. The first guy pulled up some realtor, and I guarantee you 7 out of 10 of these are going to be realtors. But that's what happens when you're doing this manually, one by one, day by day. If you're working with us, you'll come in here and you'll identify 3 to 5 properties a day. You'll write the address down. You go type it in. You're going to call the guy and try to get an email address from him, and you're going to send him an offer. That's it. That's all you got to do. It's pretty easy. So in the beginning, if you don't have all these tools and automation, and you don't have the resource and the finances to go pay for it all while you figure out what you're doing and try to get started, you can put your stuff with us. We'll do it for you. And there's zero cost to you. And we're going to do as much or as little on the deal as you'd like us to. And our system is going to automate all of your follow-up. The more follow-up that we do with the phone and everything else, that is way, way more effective than the automation. But the automation is a life-saving. I mean, it's huge. It is huge because it's there when we're not, and it's constantly making sure we're not dropping the ball on these offers and these leads that we're paying big bucks for, guys. I want to make sure we hit all these leads 10 times, and they better tell me no 10 times before we throw it away. One no and out the door, I'll be spending thousands and thousands of dollars on leads. Nobody says yes the first time. Nobody says yes the second time, guys. Nobody says yes the third time. It's the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th times we have to hit these guys up to make this a reality. So it's incredibly important. I don't know how people are doing this manually with no automation effectively. I mean, unless you're just sitting and dialing 200-300 times a day, just calling left and right, spending your whole day on the phone. Because that would be the only possible way you could do it. If you're not going to follow up with these people, you're out of luck. You really are. So it's critical. I don't know how else to say it, guys. I really don't. Okay. If you wanna work with us, reach out, message us on the group. We're easygoing. There's zero commitment on your part. You don't have to do anything. I mean, you can submit one offer in one day and do one offer a week if you want. We don't care. I don't care if you do millions of deals with other people. I don't care if you're working with 17 other mentors and 46 other JV partners and you've got 17. I don't care what you're doing. Anything is fine. It doesn't matter. We have zero commitments. You don't owe us anything. You don't pay us anything. We're just trying to partner with you to make money, assist you with the use of our automation and resources. That's it. In exchange for that, we're going to take half of that deal when we get it. And you're going to take the other half, and we're both going to smile when we deposit the check in the bank. So that's it in a nutshell, guys. It's a big nutshell, I know, and I'm sorry it took me 16 false starts to figure it out, but we got it working now. It was a whole new process for us, so thank you for bearing with it. Trying to take a look at Johnny's new toy there, but it wasn't working. Sorry, Podio, it's spinning here, guys. I'm trying to get back to the seller app so I can show you. Crashio. Podio crashed. Oh, let's see. All right, didn't take me to the seller up, but it kicked me all the way back out to the front, which is fine too. And here's another cool thing, guys, that this is what happens when you start doing stuff with us, right? here's a guy we sent an offer to, and this happens quite often because we'll do blind offers sometimes. Sometimes I'll send offers out at night, right? And I'm in California, so if I'm out here at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, I'm not going to be calling somebody at midnight in Chicago or Atlanta or whatever and bugging the crap out of them. But I still do offers at night sometimes, and I'll just send an email. And they don't even know an offer's coming. I just found them. You know, it's a scrape or something. Or sometimes I'll just go on and pull properties from FSBO.com or Trulia and just make an offer. You know, that's the number one thing you got to do in this business is make offers. So sometimes I'll just make a random offer. Or we'll talk to somebody, we'll send them an offer. It happens on a weekend. They get a lot of email. They just don't see it. And so because of our automation, we'll get a text like this. I don't remember getting an offer from you. Property's still for sale. Okay. And now we know we got to go back to the seller and resend this offer. But without automation, that offer would have gone out, and who knows if we would have followed up or we would have seen it. But because we have automation, we can see it. And so any responses we get from any of our automation, our texts, our emails, they go here. Our ringless voicemail stuff goes to our Vumber account. It's another service we pay for, along with CallRail, which is driving all of our ringless voicemail. The reason I'm talking about all this stuff, guys, I want you to understand the scope of the stuff that we're providing. You know, I get guys that question us, you know, how much money are you making on this? And like it's a ripoff or something, or we're trying to scam somebody or something. Guys, I'm not trying to scam anybody. I want half of the deal, and I want to work with you on the deal, and I want 50% of the deal for doing that. If that's a scam, I don't know what else to do. It's an offer for you that you can take or leave. Either way, I don't give a damn. Either way is fine. Take it or leave it. You can do it or you don't have to, but we would certainly love to have as many of you as possible working with us. I think it'll be a benefit to you, and I know it's a great benefit to us. The more the merrier, the more deals we're doing, the more offers we're making, the better it is. So all these are, actually this was cleared out about 20 minutes ago or 30 minutes ago. This is completely cleared out. So Grant is doing offers, and you can see that creates tasks, which I'm going to clear out because, I'm going to clear them out because he's already doing these. Do research and pull comps. The system is basically when Grant goes in there and starts kicking off doing an offer, that's just a task that gets created. Now these are all seller has responded or somebody's responded to our drip campaigns. Most of these are all drip campaign stuff. And so that's the beauty of it. Now, because our automation is going out, we're getting this feedback from our sellers. Now, this is a good one. This is obviously from an initial scrape, and this is a realtor most likely, right? Here's her response back. My text was, "Hi, if I can bring a full price offer, would you consider a rent-own sale on this property?" And the response was, "On which property are you referring to?" So, and this is in Chula Vista, California, which is where we are right now. And we just actually started scraping. We actually just started scraping here, I think 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, not too long ago. So, and I don't know that we've gotten any responses from California at this point. I think maybe the very first one. So that's pretty interesting. We're definitely gonna call this person and see what's going on. So pretty cool, right? Push to seller. Codis Harvey is this guy's name. We're gonna push him up to seller. And Codis is most likely a realtor. The reason I say that is because he's asked me on which property you're referring to. We are doing all of our scraping and stuff in for sale by owner section of Craigslist. So by the fact that he's asking me on which property you're referring to, it means he has multiple listings, which means a couple things. He's either another investor, or he is a realtor, or there's a very slight chance that he happens to be a guy who owns 2 houses and happens to be selling both at the same time. It's a possibility. It's probably not the case, but it is possible. 90% of the time, this is going to be a realtor. The other 9% of the time, it's going to be an investor, and maybe 1% of the time, it'll be that last possible scenario where somebody actually owns two houses and listed them properly in FSPO. So anyway, this guy's probably a realtor, but we're going to call him anyway because I'm kind of cool. It's kind of exciting that it's in Chula Vista. And we would love to be doing some deals here locally, because we're finding as we do stuff, guys, the automation is great, and it's absolutely necessary for these very reasons right here. There's no way I can follow up with the volume of leads that I need to initially to be contacting enough sellers, to be getting enough contracts, et cetera, et cetera. You guys get it, okay? So the automation is critical for that. But once it gets to the point where you're engaged with a seller, there's any interest at all, you have got to talk to them in person, on the phone or in person. I mean, you have to communicate with them other than electronically. You have to. Otherwise, it's no good. Look at this. Look at what this automation has done to this guy. I have hammered this guy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and the 6th time he has answered. Do you think that automation works, guys? Do you think it's important? Do you think it's important you follow up these leads every time? Do you think what I'm saying is true? I just pulled the first one up, and here it is. I'm showing it to you right here. I don't know how to say it. So anybody who's skeptical or thinks this is some kind of a scam or whatever, I don't understand why. I mean, I guess I do, but look, I'm not taking a penny from you. I'm trying to help you, trying to explain why the automation is important. And as soon as I got it, I realized how huge it was, and that's why I created this group, because I thought, wow, this is a service that people will be thrilled to participate in. I mean, I can send my offers to them, and they've got all this stuff working, and they'll do it for me. I mean, all I got to do is split the deal with them. That's pretty good, guys. That's pretty good, I think. So anyway, there it is. I'm tired, so I'm going to get off now, but that's it in a nutshell, guys. Hit me up, message me, reach out to us, reach out to Farah, Grant, me, whatever. Reach out to the group. We will we'll set you up and get you going and get you submitting some properties. 10 minutes a day is what you guys can spend finding 3 to 5 of these and just submitting them through our easy to use Podio web form. It's got about 10 things you need to put in there, and that's it. You're good to go. And we do the rest, and you'll be starting to take some action and actually do something rather than goofing around on Facebook and watching webinars and doing all kinds of stuff besides actually taking steps to move your business forward. Okay, guys, have a great day, and let's make some money.